What life hack seems fake, but is a true lifesaver? Freezing a hard drive to get it to spin one more time. I swear to God I thought it was bullshit until I was out of options and tried it, and damn it, the thing worked a few more times and I was able to get the data I needed. I'm not sure there's a better answer to this question. It's such an absurd solution that it really shouldn't work. The number of times I've salvaged data from a dying disk with this technique is ridiculous. When a good friend of mine gave me this advice over the phone, I remember being genuinely annoyed that he wasn't offering me any real guidance. He had over 20 years of IT experience at that point and was my go-to resource in times of crisis. I was absolutely astounded when it worked. Over time, I refined the method by first freezing the disk in a Ziploc bag, then placing it, with all cables connected, in a cooler filled with ice and water. Occasionally, I found that lightly tapping the upper right corner of the disk with a hammer allowed me to overcome that final extraction hurdle. Screw you, IBM Death Star and Maxter Diamond Max, there's a special place in hell for both of you. Don't confuse mental tiredness with physical tiredness. After a long day at my brain-intensive job, I think, I'm tired, I should go to bed. But in reality, I've been sitting on my butt for 8 hours, and what I need to recover is physical movement. You can't cough and produce tears at the same time. It only works for a second, but if you need one to prevent crying, clear your throat. If you've left your laundry in the washer for too long and it's filled with mold, add some vinegar when you wash it again. It usually works. This isn't something that can be used in too many situations, but with many people sharing their acting busy stories, I thought some of you might appreciate it. When I was in basic training for the Army, near the end of basic training, our drill sergeants liked to give us an hour or two each day on the parade ground and simply tell us to stay busy. I think they enjoyed a break, but if anyone was caught not doing something busy, they'd still be punished. 3 of us decided to sit in a triangle formation, facing inward, and each dug a hole in front of us, but would put the dirt in the hole to the right of us. So we were digging, but someone else would fill in what we had just dug. We did that for almost a whole hour. A drill sergeant walked by, looked at us, looked incredulous, said, "If this isn't the most private thing I've seen soldiers do, bloody fantastic, carry on soldiers." Many years ago, the fans on my MacBook broke, making it almost unusable. At that time I was pretty tight on money and wasn't looking forward to an expensive repair job at the Apple Store, so I went to YouTube to see if there was any solution. I found a video where a guy said to simply give it a few taps on top of the row of number keys where the fans were. This seemed like a complete joke, but I figured even if it causes more damage, I'll still have to pay for the repair, so I might as well try it. I gave it a few taps and sure enough, the fans started working again and I was back in business. Apparently what happens is over time dust, crumbs, and other small bits of debris accumulate in the fan gears and stop them from spinning. Apparently tapping them a few times moved the debris out of the way and allowed them to work again. I never had another issue with that for as long as I had that computer. Smelling isopropyl alcohol eliminates nausea. I like the 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. It helps a lot for people like me prone to procrastination. Whether it's folding a few shirts, making a phone call, putting away groceries, tidying something in the kitchen, cleaning something, etc. If you put off trivial and small things over time, they pile up and all become too overwhelming to do. If you follow the 2-minute rule, you'll find you're more organized and there are fewer annoyances getting in the way of actual tasks. If you're someone who gets anxious about leaving the iron on or similar things, do this. Unplug it from the socket, point to it, and say aloud, "The iron is off." You'll remember you actually turned it off. Got something itchy like poison ivy or have severe reactions to insect bites? Those anti-itch creams are useless. Instead, use toothache gels. The lidocaine concentration is much higher. I found out a cabin had bed bugs and I'm allergic. I bought every itch, burn, and numbness cream out there and nothing relieved that itch. So I looked for what had the most lidocaine or benzocaine and found that toothache gels have 20%. Sweet, sweet relief. How to quickly get rid of telemarketers or door-to-door salespeople without being rude. I stumbled upon this by accident. Someone knocked on my door offering a service I already had, asking if I'd like to talk about their service. I said, "Oh, I'm already a customer, I'd love to talk about it." I was also being genuine. They couldn't get away fast enough, which struck me as odd. Then it occurred to me that by saying I was already a satisfied customer, they knew there was no chance of a sale, so any additional time spent talking to me was costing them potential sales. Edit, haha, lots of people down here saying just hang up, close the door, tell them to F*** off or whatever, which I do sometimes too. I'm not saying this is the best or only method, it's just a way I stumbled upon accidentally that makes them want to get away as fast as possible. Yell at your vacuum to get your dogs to stop barking at it. Apparently, it helps your dogs realize you're dominant over the vacuum, so they stop trying to protect you from it. Sounds silly, but I literally did it once and it was never a problem again. Many of the small habits/atomic habits sound so silly, but they work for many people. Basically, the idea is you commit to just doing one push-up a day, or learning to write one word in a foreign language, or hugging your partner, or writing for minutes, basically a small step towards any goal you're aiming for. Over time, the ritual solidifies, and you can ramp it up. It's worked really well for writing for me. Now I write, less for exercise, but hey, I still do a minimum of 5 minutes a day, every day. Baking soda is a miraculous cleaner and odor remover. You can clean ovens, lightly unclog bathroom and kitchen drains, remove grease, eliminate odors from furniture and clothes like shoes, and many more. I learned this on Reddit, but if you're sick and have a congested nasal passage, lie on the side of the free one and wait a bit, it'll clear the other nasal passage. It was a great relief to know this when I got sick a couple of weeks ago. If you're contemplating an impulse purchase, wait 3 days. If you're still thinking about it at that point, then spend without remorse. Otherwise, it was just a passing whim. Is it a lifesaver? I don't know, but a comment on Reddit taught me that vodka is the ultimate odor remover. You can use it for body odor on clothes or the smell of animal urine. Put the cheapest vodka you can find in a spray bottle and spray the affected area. Let it dry. It's like magic. I've eliminated odors in situations where nothing else worked. Consume supplemental fiber. It improves everything in your intestines. Everything. Do you have chronic diarrhea? Fiber will calm it. Do you have constipation or tight intestines? Fiber will loosen them. Do you have fairly normal and healthy bowel movements? Fiber will make them quick, easy, effortless, and leave almost no residue to clean up. I mean, obviously, you still need to clean/bidet. But without being too gross, you'll find that job much easier. It also helps you feel fuller/satisfied after eating, so it can help with weight control, and can help slow down or spread out blood sugar spikes when eating high glycemic foods, so it can be useful for diabetes management too. It's like a miracle drug, and it's available everywhere, over the counter, and it's very cheap, and it's very safe. I used to be always confused by fiber ads. They always said it makes you regular, but I was confused. What does that mean? Does it mean it'll constipate you? Or loosen you up? Turns out, somehow, both. It's like the miracle drug for anything intestine related. Taking a serving of Metamucil before each meal literally changed my life. I have GI issues on the IBS/IBD spectrum. I've advocated for it with friends/family, and everyone I'm close enough to discuss these kinds of things with talks about how surprised they are at how nice and pleasant it makes everything intestine related, even if they had perfectly healthy ones before. 10 out of 10, can't recommend it enough. Note, this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor or nutritionist. I'm just a guy who used to have real intestine problems, and now I have great bowel movements most days. Sadly, vigorous and regular exercise really helps with depression. It doesn't solve it, but it does make a difference. I used to get so mad when therapists suggested it, haha. Meditation really quiets the mind at some point, and the positive effects of this will benefit all aspects of your life. It reduces impulsivity, strengthens empathy and patience, and increases your sense of joy. And it's free. All you need to do is find a quiet space, sit down, and give yourself permission to not have to do anything for 10 minutes. Thoughts don't need to be followed or analyzed, impulses don't need to be obeyed, memories and plans can be left unexplored, itches don't need to be scratched, nothing needs to be changed. Just pay attention to your breathing, and when you get distracted, and you will just return to your breath. Do this every day and extend the time as needed, and you'll absolutely notice how things change in your life very quickly. You'll probably notice that ideas or feelings that seemed overwhelming will disappear if you simply let them be for a while. You'll be able to breathe and slow down when interacting with others or making decisions. Concentration will improve. You won't feel the need to numb yourself as much. All that with just sitting and doing nothing for 10 minutes a day. Compound interest isn't just something related to money. It also works with exercise. Investing just 10 minutes a day in raising your heart rate or doing some weight exercises is all you need to do. You don't need to kill yourself working out 5 hours a week. And well, friends, that was all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, let me know with a thumbs up so that YouTube can share these stories with more people. Remember to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when we upload a new video. See you next time.